Westmoreland. I am a senior immigration lawyer at GSN Immigration. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon so you can continue to watch our extremely interesting videos about UK visa and immigration advice. My topic today is the Innovator Founder Visa. You probably might have heard that previously there were two different visas, the Startup Visa and the Innovator Visa. These two visas have now been, as it were, merged into one visa, the Innovator Founder Visa, and this visa is all about setting up a business in the UK. Either somebody who is outside the UK and wants to come to the UK and be an entrepreneur, or maybe somebody who's in the UK already on a visa of some kind and they'd like to switch their visa to an Innovator Founder Visa, set up and run a business in the UK. Now, one of the distinguishing features about this visa is that you must have a business plan for your proposed business. Your business plan must be assessed by a private assessment body, a private endorsing body. Not like in the old days with tier 1 entrepreneur businesses had to be approved by the Home Office. For the Innovator Founder Visa, there are private endorsing assessment bodies. They assess your business plan and they say if it's good or bad, good enough or not. Is it innovative? Is it, to use the technical words that not everybody understands, is it viable? Is it scalable? Is it a sensible? Is it a realistic business? If the endorsing body looks at your business plan and say, yes, this is good, this is good enough, and they're prepared to endorse your business, that's the first step. Second step is, like everything else in life, you have to have enough money. Now, the Innovator Founder Visa, the rules are very flexible. You only have to have enough money to invest in your business as you need to make the business work. Now, some other visas, some other times, has been a minimum mathematical figure for investment. With the Innovator Founder Visa, there is no mathematical figure. The amount of money that you propose to invest must just be enough to do what you want to do. If you successfully get your endorsement from the private endorsing body, they will provide a letter. The letter will be part of your application to the Home Office or UK Visa and Immigration. You make the visa application either from outside the UK or possibly from within the UK. If the application is successful, the visa will be granted for 3 years. So for 3 years you can run your business and do your best. You never know what happens with the business, do you? The business plan may be great, but the business may be rubbish. You don't know until you try. But if you are reasonably successful after 3 years, you might want to extend your visa. Don't forget, you might have invited your partner and your children with you. You might have set up your family life in the UK. You might want to extend your visa. For the extension application, again, you need endorsement from the endorsing body. The criteria for this are medium difficult, averagely difficult. The legal words are, first of all, you must show that you're active in trading. That's always a good start. And slightly more difficult, you must show significant achievements against the business plan. Now, of course, that's very, very difficult to measure. But the endorsing body, they will decide, they'll make a balanced decision, does it meet those criteria? I mentioned these funny technical words, scalable, innovative. Well, we know what innovative means, don't we? Not every business has to be something completely new. If you read into it, if you can sell similar products to other people, other firms, you can sell them more cheaply, that could be a form of innovation. Viable, well, we know what that means, don't we? I think after 3 years you would know whether it's viable or not. Scalable, now this is the word that some people had to look at their dictionaries. Not me, I knew already. Some people had to look at their dictionaries. Scalable business is a business that today is small. It could grow successfully and easily and everything would slot into place. It can grow. Not easily, but it can grow nicely. You can see that it could grow successfully Now, of course, after 3 years, you would know probably, after 3 years, you would have liked to have expanded. Probably you will know whether it was indeed scalable or not. Anyway, if you're interested in submitting the extension application, it's a bit like the initial application pretty much, but you're in a different psychological landscape because you've been doing the business for 3 years and you have an idea about how things are going. The endorsement body is relatively satisfied. They give you a suitable letter for continued endorsement of the business with a bit of luck. The application is successful. Now, after 3 years, you don't have to apply for extension. After 3 years, potentially you can apply for settlement. The requirements for settlement are more difficult. Business must be active and trading, as you would expect. Again, must be significant achievements against the business plan. Extra requirement for settlement. The business must look as though it's sustainable for the next 12 months. The business must look as though it's going to exist, hopefully profitably for the next 12 months. Now, these rules never really have a criterion that the business must be profitable, but I think if the business wasn't profitable, the business is going to fail anyway. I strongly imagine a good settlement application, the business must be profitable. Maybe not vastly profitable, but profitable. But as we shall see, being vastly profitable can actually be very helpful. Now, the criteria are quite complicated, or at least averagely complicated. You have to meet 2 criteria to qualify for settlement, just 2. If you have invested at least £50,000 in the business, that can satisfy one criterion. If you have really dramatically, significantly increased your customer base, that can satisfy a requirement as well. Difficult to measure. How does anybody really know how many customers you've got? How do you prove it? Does it mean anyone who's bought something off you, they're a customer? Most presumably. Anyway, these rules, I mean, I'm simplifying them a lot, but these rules say that if you can show a strong increase in your number of customers, that can be one satisfying element for the requirements for a settlement. Something very different. If you can show really significant research and development work in your business, like, for example, you've applied for patents, or maybe even you've achieved patents, very, very top quality research and development work, that can be a satisfying element. And of course, as you might expect, if you can show that you've made vast profits over the past financial year, that can be a qualifying element. And finally, and another fairly complicated rule, if you can show that you have created 10 full-time jobs for the indigenous workforce, or only 5 jobs from the indigenous workforce, but the salary must be at least £25,000 as we speak. If you can achieve either of those, then that can be a qualifying element. So if you can satisfy 2 of those requirements, then you can make an application for settlement. And of course, once you get settlement, you and your family can apply for settlement. You can carry on running your business, or indeed do anything else really, and you're then on the route to British citizenship if that's the sort of thing you want. Now, that's a very quick run through. I dare say that Mr. Shah has got various questions that he'd like to ask me.
Yes, thank you so much for elaborating on this new visa category, and more like a discussion if we can have on a few of the points, and it will answer a lot of questions for the viewers. Is it possible, Oliver, that an existing business which might already be running in the UK, can the applicant apply to join that business?
I would say generally not. No, it needs to be a new business.
Okay, great. And I think you may have answered this already about the financial requirement, about the investment, but how does one show that they have enough investment to invest into the business? I mean, is there a figure at all?
No.
Oh.
But I mean, let's say let's say that you want to create a business which could be based in a little office like that, something IT orientated. In your business plan, you will probably make projections about how much it will cost to lease an office. You might need to buy some computers and equipment and so on and so forth, and you will roughly cost how much it should be. Now, if you cost it realistically, and the endorsement body accepts that that's a realistic assessment, it doesn't matter how much it is really. If it's a lowish figure, but it is evidently the case that's all you need to set up the business, then that's good enough. But if you're going to set up something more complicated, like a food warehouse or something, it's going to take probably a lot more money, because you're going to need to put a lot more elements together. But don't forget, the endorsing body, not the Home Office, the endorsing body decides if the business is realistic, whether the business plan is realistic, including whether the business plan puts forward enough money. I'm sure the endorsing body, if they thought that not enough investment was being put forward, they would tell you, wouldn't they? They say, you won't be able to create this sort of business with this sort of money.
True.
But there is no mathematical figure.
Brilliant. So it could be as little as £10,000, for example.
Potentially, yeah.
Brilliant. And we know that there were previous visa categories similar to this new one, and universities were able to endorse their students.
Yes.
Is that possible still?
No, that's been abolished.
Okay, so no more university endorsements.
It's become much simpler actually, because there are far fewer endorsement bodies than there were before.
Yeah. Okay. And in recent news and some changes that the Home Secretary proposed about cutting down the number of migration and stuff like that, there are plans by the government that they want to stop students being able to bring dependents even if they're doing a master's degree.
Yeah, I can see that you've been reading the papers.
Yes. And is there such a restriction on this visa, or can applicants bring family?
No, there is no such restriction, and I do not believe that the Home Office will want to bring in such a restriction for these people. These are the people that they want. They say high quality migrants who are going to open businesses and help the UK economy to prosper. I don't think this sort of thing's going to happen with this sort of visa.
Brilliant. And we know not everyone is used to making business plans, for example, and for this visa category they may need one too.
No, you will need one.
You need one. Okay, perfect. How detailed a business plan should be? Could it be just like 3-4 pages, or how much length should one?
That sounds quite a minimalistic one, I should say. It'll probably be more than about 3 or 4 pages. It'll probably be, I should think, a fairly detailed business plan. I'm not going to put a number of pages because there's no rule about it, but 3 or 4 doesn't sound enough to me.
Sure. Okay, brilliant. And in the video you mentioned something about the settlement rules, and you said there's few categories and you just need to meet 2 requirements.
That's correct, yes.
2 of those requirements, one of them was either have invested £50,000,
yes,
and or the other requirement was employ at least 5 people.
It shows up at a slightly strange thing, because you might think that you could set up your business with a £40,000 investment, but you're looking towards the future. You might invest $50,000 anyway to help you meet the requirements for settlement when the time comes.
Sure. And the second point that you mentioned about employing 5 people and paying the minimum salary of about £25,000.
Yes.
Can that £25,000 salary count towards the £50,000 investment, or are they 2 separate things?
No, the investment could include salaries, but I think it wouldn't include the applicant's salary, because he could inflate it to some ridiculous figure. But staff salaries, I think that could be part of the investment. Yes.
Fantastic. I think that covers a lot of area for this visa category, and as this is new and upcoming visa, hopefully we'll be talking more about this in the near future.
All right then. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.